Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, here in my pal, and the world record holder for feeding the most Sour Patch Kids to a dog, Steven Robles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I don't know if that counts as animal abuse, so I'm going to say that I definitely did not do that. I mean,
the dogs liked it. There was nothing wrong with it.
Sure, they might like it in the moment. I just don't know the aftermath. I don't know what happens after that. Can dogs eat Sour Patch?
The dogs did develop diabetes after eating that much sugar. So
that is true. That is very sad.
But when interviewed, the dog said, totally worth it. So
Hashtag worth it. YOLO. You only live once.
Exactly, for sure.
We have a dog. I have a dog, small dog, and I frequently forget, or I never have learned, what it can and cannot eat. And there'll be times something drops on the floor, my wife will be like, the dog can't eat it. It's like, okay. And then other times, something will fall on the floor, and my wife's like, come on, Charlie, come get the whatever. And I'm like, how do we know? How do we know what's going to kill this thing?
How do you know? Google is like,
I know.
An option.
Yeah.
We're pretty good with it, but my wife still will at times. She's like, oh no. Can the dogs eat this? I was like, I'm not sure. She's like, well, I hope so, because they did. I'm like, okay, so we're going with it at this point.
Yeah, I know chocolate is the kryptonite. Dogs can't have chocolate.
Grapes, garlic, onions, those are also bad. Those are the other big ones, I think.
Garlic? Like a vampire?
Yeah. We're bringing the knowledge today.
Are dogs vampires? Is that
just like partially on the mother's side.
So I don't know if they do at night. I mean, we're asleep. They could be hanging upside down. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
If we did fun titles for the show, we should call it Dog Vampires. That's like the alt title that no one will see. So, anyway.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh, a couple 5-star review shout-outs, and apropos, one of the people that gave us a 5-star reviews is Doogie62, which is pretty close to Doggy. So, Doogie62 from the USA,
wow.
That's close. But Luke Mute,
nice transition.
132, thank you. 132217. I don't know how you got a username of all numbers, but you did it. Oh, and then KDog73. How did this happen? All 5-star reviews.
You went with Doogie instead of KDog for your dog.
I don't know why I didn't. Yeah, I didn't see the KDog at first. I don't know why. And then Jerry with a G. Those are all from the USA, but KDog73. He's actually from Ireland, and he says that I've discovered this for the Apple Insider Show and this show. Multiple truckers listen to these episodes, and they say that we keep them company as they drive across great distances in their trucks. So, what's going on? How you doing? Glad we could be here with you. Very cool.
Nice.
All right. And just nodding at me. Okay. A few pieces of news here. Nanoleaf, our friends that make the colorful shapes, and they have some other things. They actually had a special edition of their Nanoleaf shapes that were Sonic edition. Because, if you didn't know, there was that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie that's now out in theaters. And there's Nanoleaf lights now that are shaped like the face of Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles. And, just a fun little kind of special edition Nanoleaf shapes. Of course, you could always rearrange them later if you want to use the colors elsewhere. But they look pretty cool. I thought it was a fun thing for Nanoleaf to do. It's cool.
Oh, that was an awesome tie-in. It's a little random, but it's really cool. The faces really look neat.
Yeah, typically we don't have like HomeKit or smart home brands being like culturally relevant, like doing things to actually match what's popular in like movies and stuff. But Nanoleaf, I'll give you props to that. All the Marvel movies that come out, there's a huge opportunity there. Make a Thor Love and Thunder edition. I don't know. That might be cool. But now you snuck something in here, as you do, Andrew. Nanoleaf Lines, which is another one of their products. Well, what is an update there? What would they do?
Okay, so let's preface this with I don't see a date on an embargo. And I clicked on the PR.
Speaking very slowly.
And I saw no date on the PR. And I did a quick Google, and I saw one article mention it, and the product is on the Nanoleaf website. So I assume I can tell you folks about it. It's not anything major, but it's kind of cool. I think this is awesome. I'm for sure picking up some. They're releasing the Nanoleaf Lines skins. So these are like a clip-on facade for your Nanoleaf lines to give them a different color other than white, which is really cool. They have a matte black one that I love. So imagine just having like the matte black lines with the colors coming up from behind it. It's really cool. Like I like the white, and I thought it looked good on like the white walls and it was fine. But then I saw the matte black and went, oh, that's such a cool look with the contrast of like our white walls to the black lines. It looks sleek. So yeah, I'm going to be picking up a set of the matte black ones. They also have like this rose gold pinkish color as well. But yeah, these are just little snap-on things. They cover the round pieces like on the corners that combine all the pieces together, and then the actual lines themselves. If you don't remember with the lines, their thing is it's indirect lighting. So most of the Nanoleaf stuff casts into your room. These are separated from the wall by like a half an inch or so, and they cast the lights against the wall, so it's like diffused naturally by your wall. So your lights are not facing out, they're facing the wall, and they're kind of reflecting off the wall itself. So it creates a really cool effect. But then you have the light bars themselves are what you're looking at, whether they're on or off. So this gives it another color that you can see versus just the white. So I think this is a great new addition. They still say out of stock on the Nanoleaf website, but one random website posted about it 3 weeks ago, so I assume I can tell you folks about it. So there it is.
Yeah, that's really cool. Those matte black ones I feel like would be a nice look. You know, just kind of have the light coming out from under it. I actually still have 2 boxes of Nanoleaf shapes that I have yet to install because I got them right as we sold our last house. I didn't want to put them up in this house because like we're only going to be here a couple months. 1 year later. But I'm still glad I saved them. They're going to go in the new studio at the new house. So, yeah, which I'm going to be talking about some light switch debacle in the new house in a little bit. So stay tuned. But, yeah, very cool. And they are on the website. I mean, I can't imagine it's under embargo. You can, like, sign up. I mean, it's right there, you know.
Right? Yeah, you found it, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, quick Google. Yeah. Probably worth the Google. You ever see the Lego Batman movie?
I have.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Okay. HomeKit app, Home Widget, actually got updated to 1.2. We always love these third-party HomeKit apps, and this one adds a ton of support. Again, Home Widget app lets you make widgets on your iPhone, iPad home screen that relate to HomeKit devices. They added new features like HomeKit camera support. Again, you can't get like a live feed in a widget, but you can make it quick to jump to those cameras using the widget. They have like battery level sensors, light color support, thermostat and air conditioner temperature sensors. So a bunch of new types of widgets. Also some font customizations, emojis as device icons, like cool stuff like that. So really fun app. You should definitely check it out if you haven't tried it yet. Yeah. Yeah,
I like the camera one is huge for me because typically, you know, what are your other options? You have to jump into the Home app or HomeCam, something like that, and then find the camera you're looking for, pull it up. But with this, you've got like that straight up snapshot. So for mine, I configure with like our front door camera because that's what I access probably most often. And it's right there. So if I ever need to check our front door, I just tap that, boom, I've got an instant live feed of what's going on in our front door. So yeah, this is a really nice update to Home Widget.
All right. Yeah, and there's a cool video preview on the app download screen if you want to see all it can do. And really, the customized widget menu is pretty robust. I don't even know you could do that many customizations right from like a home screen widget menu. That's pretty slick. So, link in show notes to that app for sure. Okay, this next one, it's a bit of unfortunate news. It came out like right after we recorded last week, and I think it was The Verge had this article talking about the Wyze camera. But Andrew, give me some background. What happened with the Wyze security camera?
Okay, so Wyze makes security cameras, and they had discontinued like version 1 of their camera, and they didn't really give much clarity on it. And they came out with a new version, but there wasn't like a ton of changes and stuff. And people were kind of like wondering, more or less wondering, you know, why they had discontinued and stuff. And now it's come out. A security researcher has found what went on and why they had discontinued the version 1 of the camera. And turns out there was a fairly easy way for hackers to gain access to your camera feeds. And instead of patching it or disclosing it, anything like that, they just discontinued version 1 of the camera and went on their day. And now people have, you know, there's still people who've been using that camera and stuff like that. It's just not a good look here. And of course, on our side, we're brought into the HomeKit space of of HomeKit Secure Video and the benefits of not having third-party cloud servers and stuff like that impacts the security of your cameras. Now, there are caveats to this, so it's not like it was just carte blanche access. I believe they did need like an initial camera ID, so they'd either have to be like on your local network first or have the ID of your camera. So there's various ways they could do this, but it just wasn't good. But something as personal as a camera that literally has a video feed into your home, I would just prefer if there was 0 ways people could access it, not with just the caveat they have to be like on my home network or something, because that still feels like just too close. So yeah, this is a thing. A lot of people are very upset about this. Just not a good look, and it makes us feel a little happy to be in the HomeKit space and not have to worry about stuff like this.
Yeah, and some of this security camera in the past, especially if used in like kids' rooms or baby monitor rooms where people could hack in and like speak through the camera because they accessed it, from the back end, like weird stuff. Don't like being open to that at all. And, if you're making cameras that go inside the home, I feel like you have a special responsibility to keep your stuff secure and updated. And yeah, it's weird. So yeah, done with Wyze. I've never had a Wyze camera. Have you ever had one of these Wyze things?
No, of course not.
I've never had one. So yeah, a little weird. But anyway, that's why we like HomeKit here, HomeKit Secure Video, which, I'm in the stage right now where we're doing like outdoor floodlights, and I'm holding out for that Eve camera. We actually got the release date for the Eve outdoor floodlight camera after our interview with Tim Berth from Eve, and May 17th, I believe, is the date that it will be available. So if you're looking for that Eve outdoor floodlight camera that uses HomeKit Secure Video, it was May 17th, right?
Yeah, I think so. If I'm remembering.
So
correctly.
that is, so we're about a month away as you listen to this. But I'm holding out for that. I did think about the Arlo floodlight camera. I know I think you have one of these, and my dad actually got one, and he really loves it, but it's not HomeKit Secure Video. You can get it into HomeKit, but if you want any kind of clip recording, you have to pay for the Arlo service, correct? Like you don't get clips in the Home app?
Clips, no clips in the Home app. I think there's like a free option, and you do have local storage that you can rely on with Arlo.
Right.
Like there's an SD card or a micro SD card reader in the base, so you can do that to skirt the paid subscription through Arlo. So they do have, I think, free tiers, but they also have like essential cams that are cheaper that might have, a requirement to pay for things. I'm not sure. I do pay, but it's also a high resolution camera. So this is what I'm struggling with, Steven. And tell me what you think. I like the Eve camera.
Yeah. And
I would prefer more HomeKit support. So I'm looking at our backyard one right now, and that's where we have the floodlight cam. And we've got we're on an upper deck, so it casts off the deck into the backyard where the dog redos run around and play. And we can see anyone who's in the backyard as well as going up and down the stairs to the deck, all of that with the camera. But since it's a higher resolution camera and the floodlight is crazy bright, it's got like wings on it cast on the backyard, it's got some good light and good visibility. And because it records in a higher resolution in the Arlo app, it might be like 2K or something like that, that you can see more, especially in low light settings. So what I'm nervous about switching to the Eve one is it's not going to be as good for distance. And I don't know how good it is yet, or this stuff we'll have to test, how good it is at motion detection and stuff like that. So I'm a little on the fence about whether I should, partially because it's so high, if I want that higher resolution provided by the Arlo, or if I want more of the native HomeKit stuff. So I'm a little torn on which one to do, because especially with an outdoor one, indoor, I feel like you have better lighting, more control, and it's closer. But outdoors, stuff is far away. HomeKit is already limited to 1080, and when stuff is further away, I don't know how much I'll be able to zoom in and get details on stuff. So I'm torn. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same place. And the other challenge I have is our floodlights are undermounted to the soffit. So you have the soffit around the house, and the floodlights mount right here underneath. And the Eve and the Netatmo, I looked at both, are not compatible. Like, you can't mount them that way. They have to be mounted to the side of a building. You can't undermount them, which is unfortunate because, like, all of Amazon's Ring floodlights, you can mount them any which way. You can mount them under, you can mount them on the side. So when it comes to undermounting, honestly, the Arlo floodlight might be the only good option. And you were right, it is 2K instead of 1080. But I so wanted to just go all HomeKit Secure video. And I think I'm going to get one of the Eves anyway, because I do have a light on the side of my garage that I can put the camera on because it's on the side. And so I'll check it out. So I will report to you the quality. But we do actually have a long distance that it has to cover as well. So that 2K would make a big difference. I am now as torn as you. Now, the Arlo one, though, with the floodlight, it is battery powered or solar powered. You can't connect it directly to power. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, like, I have power. I have power that's going to be powering floodlights that are already there. And I know it's not a big deal to worry about the battery. You can get the solar panel. And honestly, I've been using
the solar one because you're not reliant on anything else. If your power goes off, this thing can still record. Like, the power at your house, you still have, like, it can still see things. It can still turn on the floodlights.
That is true.
And you have so much option to place it.
Yeah, that is true. And I will say, I've had that REO Link camera since the house construction began, so almost a year now. And the solar panel has kept it charged 100% this entire time. And, like, it's not in sunlight 100% of the day. It is, like, maybe half or a little more than half does it get sunlight. But there's a bunch of trees around it. Like, it doesn't have clear view of the sky all the time. And so I've been impressed. Like, those solar panels, like, you won't have to worry about it. Like, as long as you get some sunlight during the day, it's going to charge your thing, and you're not going to have to worry about power. So I get that. I just didn't want to pay for a subscription, Andrew. That's what gets me. Like, I wanted HomeKit Secure Video. They support unlimited cameras now, so you could get as many as you wanted, doorbell cameras and all the other cameras. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm probably going to end up putting, like, one of my Logitech Circle Views outside by the floodlight just to have it temporarily. Then I'll try the Eve one when it comes out, but I don't know, man. My dad loves this Arlo floodlight camera too. I will say, like, that light, he has to keep it down at like 15 to 20% brightness because you get that thing up to 50 and over, it's like blinding. Like the entire street will be knocking on his door complaining. So it is super bright. It's awesome. Great at that. Yeah, and it's super fast. Like, he opens that Arlo app and, like, loads right up. You can see that camera right away. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, and you can control the light and everything through HomeKit. So you can just say, Siri, turn on the porch light or something and kick that on. I mean, the same thing with like the Eve, but it's, even though the camera isn't HomeKit Secure Video, it still is HomeKit. So the live feed shows in the Home app. The light itself shows in the Home app and is controllable through the Home app. The only downside is you don't have the video clips stored in the Home app. But you can use it for your automations and everything. Like, the motion sensor is in there. All of that stuff is good to go with HomeKit.
Yeah. Well, I'm just as torn as you now, Andrew. I really don't know. So let me tell you something I am sure about, because I just don't know with this camera thing. One thing I am sure about is when it comes to smart shades, Hunter Douglas has got it going on. And they have sponsored this episode one more time. You guys have heard us talk about Hunter Douglas. They have their PowerView technology, beautiful shades, beautiful fabrics. They're automated. I'm going to be getting some for my new house. I'm very excited about that. But listen, you can automate them. You can make it so they diffuse harsh sunlight throughout the day or cast a beautiful glow across a room. You can enjoy view outside and protect your privacy inside. All automated. You can schedule it all. And, of course, works with HomeKit. And also, just side note, too, Hunter Douglas makes those smart ceiling fans. And the story I'm about to tell you in a moment is a harrowing tale of light switches and fans. And so I am kind of regretting I just didn't get Hunter Douglas fans everywhere. So just so you know, they make fans too. But again, you can get great insulation and that PowerView technology. Like I said, you can automate it, reposition it. Perfect balance of light, privacy, morning, noon, and night. Andrew, you have a bunch of these, I know. Again, tell me one of your favorite things about your Hunter Douglas shades.
How about two things? top-down abilities. So you got the bottom up and top-down. You can literally schedule it so it follows like the sun. So you have like a thin bar that just blocks out the sun but lets the light in the rest of the time. It's awesome. Second thing, physical remotes. You have a physical remote option. You can go through remotes through HomeKit, but they've got nice ones with like little screens on them that you can program all of your favorites. It's awesome. You can also do multiple of these together and create like scenes where they'll all like cascade across like 5 different windows. There's some really cool videos of people programming these things out there, and it's amazing how well these things all work together. It's fantastic.
Yes, so live beautifully with Hunter Douglas. You can enjoy greater convenience, enhance style, and increase the comfort of your home throughout the day. So here's what you do. You go to hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit today, and you get a free Style Get Smarter guide. I need to get that guide. I just realized I should download that thing. And you get fresh takes, creative ideas, and smart solutions for dressing your windows and if you got a new home. That's hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit for your free design guide. That link is in the episode notes as well. You can just click it there. Thanks to Hunter Douglas for sponsoring this episode. Now, speaking of a harrowing tale, Andrew, I just don't know what to do now. So, been installing the light switches in the new home. We're at that point where they're actually going to be turning on power to the house tomorrow to test all the electrical stuff, test all the switches, and then inspecting it so we can turn on the air so the flooring can be good, because we're installing the laminate flooring as well. So I talked to the electrician guy, and I don't know why this didn't come up before. So when you buy ceiling fans now, you get pull chain ones, which I don't like pull chain fans. I don't want pull chain ones. Or you have the other option, which is a lot of the more modern design fans are the remote, where the fan comes with a remote, and that's how you control the fan, light, whatever. So the fans we got were those with the remotes, but from what I thought before, there's 2 lights on the wall for each fan, or 2 switches on the wall for each fan. One switch controls the light, one switch controls the fan part. And I assumed that I can have a dimmer on the light and have just an on-off switch for the fan side, and then adjust the fan speed with the remote. I figured that should be fine, right? And so, as they were going to install the fans yesterday, the guy started to explain to me, it's very complicated, but apparently, when you have these remote-controlled fans, the actual remote box that the fan gets the signals, the fan gets the signals from the remote using this little box. Basically, those 2 switches get merged into one line as a single signal to the fan. And so if you want to have like fan speed control, you have to use this little box, and then basically that second switch on the wall does nothing. It's really just a power on and off that you need for the fan, and then literally everything else from dimming to fan speed gets controlled with the remote. So that second switch would do nothing. It would just have to be like a dumb switch, which is not what I wanted. And apparently it just was not going to work. And so the guy said the other option you have is to not install the remote module. So basically throw away the remote for the fan, and then you can just hook it up so the fan is controlled on the wall by a dimmer and by a fan speed control switch. But it has to be a specific fan speed control switch. You can get dumb ones where you just click fan speed up and down. Or, like what I would hope for, is a HomeKit switch where I could control the fan speed from the wall. And so I'm standing in the house and I'm like, all this time, I've been talking smack about Lutron. Not talking smack. I love Lutron. They're the most reliable switch out there. But I was trying to go no hubs in this house, trying to do all Wi-Fi switches. And so I'm standing in this house. They're about to install these ceiling fans. I have to make a decision now. Do I want them to install the remote module, or do I want to leave them without it and have to be controlled on the wall? And what do I do about that? So I search, as you do, for HomeKit fan speed control switches. And Andrew, there is exactly one switch that I could find that does that. Can you guess?
For sure.
Can you guess which switch I'm talking about?
Man, I don't know, Steven.
It is.
To be fair, a second one was announced and never released, if that makes you feel any better. Like, iDevice has announced one, because they were bought by a company that makes, like, ceiling fans. and it was never released. So
yeah, so this guy, the Lutron Caseta fan speed control switch. This is the only option to have HomeKit control of my fan speed and also have a switch that would work. Like, this is one of the few switches that will just work that I needed to control the fan speed. So, Andrew, as I stood there, just regretting everything, wishing almost that I just gone with Lutron switches everywhere, because now I'm going to have Lutron switches next to Wemo dimmer switches in all these different rooms, I went ahead and bought these fan speed control switches. They come in tomorrow, and I have to get them to the electrician right away so they can install them. And I think I regret everything. Also, while the electrician guy was installing my Leviton switches, he was like, "Have you read the reviews on these Leviton switches?" I said, "I mean, I talk about this stuff a lot. I think I've heard about them." He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, I've just heard the reliability after a number of years, like the switches, whatever. He was like, what I really hear that every customer loves are the Lutron switches. I said, buddy, get out of my house. I said, get out of here. Don't even finish it. Just get out of here. I'll install the switches myself. I don't want to hear this. So I'm going to end up getting the Lutron hub and using the Lutron switch for the fan speed control. And then I will be faced with the decision. Do I just go back and replace some of these dimmers with Lutron dimmers so the stuff matches? Do I just live with mismatching switches around in different rooms? The kids' rooms, like, they're not going to care. It's like, whatever. They can control. They control it with Siri. They never touch the switches anyway for their lights and stuff. But like for the master bedroom, I had it so nice, Andrew. It had 3 Wemo switches. They were all looking real good. All, the same look everywhere. I'm gonna show you a picture right here. I have it right here. This was my master bedroom, Andrew. Look at that. If you're listening to this show, I'll put it as the chapter art, but you should go on YouTube. I had 3 Wemo switches right in a row, 1 dimmer, 1 switch for the fan light, and then 1 switch for the fan, I thought, on and off, like turn the fan blades on and off. It looked so nice and even. So that was going to be a Lutron switch as one of them, and next to the 2 Wemos. So I'm disheartened, Andrew. I should have just done Lutron.
Yeah. I feel like, isn't that what I said early on?
I don't want to hear it, Andrew. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I told you so.
Well, I was worried I didn't know they were going to have the remotes. I thought you were talking about like regular ceiling fans. When you get into the remotes, it gets into a whole other, pile of stuff as you've experienced. And then I'm thinking like, okay, if you want to use the remote at the same time, you're going to have to like turn it on through HomeKit or through the wall switch. But then you might have to turn it on again with the remote, and you have to like double turn things on. And plus the issues that you're talking about, like it's a whole mess of things.
Yes.
Yeah. So Lutron's a great option. Plus, so right now you're not using their remotes then because you're going with this Lutron one, or
Correct.
Are you using their remotes?
No, I'm not. Because they're not even going to install the module that allows the fan to talk to the remote.
So that's still good though, because you can get the Lutron Pico remotes for fan controllers, so you can have wireless controllers as well. So you've got HomeKit control, you've got wall control, and then you have the Pico remotes for another physical floating control, which is great. So you've got options now that you've embraced going with Lutron.
Yeah, the electrician guy was also like, as he was installing the 3-way switches in the living room, he's like, yeah, I mean, if you get the Lutron switches, they got these little remotes, and you could just put them on the wall where you wanted the other switch, and they work great. I was like, why are you still here? I told you to get out of here. Why are you still talking to me? And then I told him, I was trying not to have batteries in the remotes or whatever. He's like, man, those things last years. I was like, get out of here. Why are you still making me feel bad about this? So, I kind of just wish I had gone with Lutron everywhere, because everything would have been even. Everybody loves Lutron switches. I love Lutron.
This is a good thing, Steven. This is a good thing. They are very good. I love all the remotes are great. I'm still telling you, their outdoor wall outlet, the most reliable HomeKit one I've ever tested. So if you do ever put any outdoor lights that you want to control, this guy, like, it's a little more expensive, but it's still the best outdoor outlet. It's freaking like a rock. It's so solid. I love that one. Even with the Lutron shades and stuff like that. Like, I know you have options now between like the motion blinds, the Hunter Douglas, the Serena shade and stuff by Lutron, amazing. I've never replaced the batteries in ours on our front one. It's literally like 8-foot window. It's been like 2.5 years, I'm pretty sure, almost 3 years, and I've still never replaced the batteries on it, which is amazing. Their stuff is great. Like, there's a reason that it's so reliable and people like it.
Yeah, I know it's great. I had it for like 8 years in my old house, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Never had to reset a switch once. They never lost connection. Always reliable. It was amazing. I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, there'll be a Lutron hub like 3 years from now. They'll probably all switch over to Lutron, and yeah, I still like the look of the Wemo switches. They look modern. You know, the Lutron switches again for all the reliability. Oh, and here's the Leviton ones. This is like one of the 3-way. Or this is in the living room. You know, got 3 Levitons, and once you take that sticker off, I do like how the Levitons just look like normal paddle switches. I do like that look. And I do like the Wemo look. You know, it's different. Oh, and here's also, I'm just showing off all my switches now. These are the Maris ones. The Maris ones look nice. They have a good click. They seem pretty solid. So the Maris ones I use like in the kids' rooms, and, you know, they were the cheapest. They're like $20 a switch. So I was like, yeah, why not? But I will say, like, I like the Wemo look. They look good. Like, that's why I wanted to go with as many Wemos as I could. But anyway. This is the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
I was trying to do a quick Google search. I believe they introduced like newer remote styles too. Because my problem with the Lutron remotes is that they are like reversible. Like you turn them back and forth. Yeah. You can't really tell what the heck is up and down.
The old Apple TV remote. I know you.
No,
like
I love the old Apple TV remote.
Yeah, I know.
People still complain about that. I'm like, it has the thing. You just feel for the sear button. That's where your thumb goes. Like, it's got the ring around it. They did fix it. The first of that Siri remote did not have that ring, and I agree. But when they add that tactile ring, I just feel for the remote and put my thumb on that button, and I know exactly the orientation. Like, I don't have to look at anything. I don't know why people think it was so difficult to figure out which way was up.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so anyway, that's the saga. I'll update everybody. I mean, next week, I'll get these fan controls. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm also hoping, from what you know, the electrician was like, all these switches are going to work without internet, right? Like, they'll just work like regular switches. And I was like, yeah, pretty sure. As far as you know, Andrew, like Leviton and Wemo switches, even without internet, they should still work, right? Just physically?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for that vote of confidence. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay. Anyway.
You're welcome.
Anyway. All right, last thing I wanted to mention, maybe we can get to a listener question or two. This one kind of ties in, but the Sonos Roam SL, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, which is the new Sonos. It is like the Roam, but does not have the Amazon Assistant. There's no microphone built in. It is just a speaker, and it is rechargeable via USB-C, Bluetooth, or AirPlay. You can use either one to connect to the speaker.
Doesn't it have the wireless charging pad abilities too?
It didn't come with that, so I'm not sure.
Well, no, but I think you can put it on any Qi charger, and then it also has a little pedestal that you can buy separately.
Yes. Oh, yep, there it is. Sonos Roam SL with wireless charging set. You can get that from Sonos, like the one made for it, if you want. But yeah.
Yeah, so you can use any Qi charger you've got around, but you can also specifically, there's like fancy little triangle-shaped one.
Yeah,
with like silicone on it, and it perfectly matches. But you can just use any Qi charger too.
Yeah, that is very cool. So really cool little speaker, and so I got one and been using it, and it's really cool. I love that it's rechargeable and portable, but you can also use AirPlay, which is really nice. You know, having to reconnect to a Bluetooth device every time you want to play for it and make sure it's paired, like, it can be cumbersome. Like, I have a big JBL speaker that does that, and like, it's good, but it's really nice just to be able to do AirPlay. And where I'm using it, multiple people would probably want to play music to it, and AirPlay is great for that. Bluetooth is not. You know, to have everybody try to pair their device to the one speaker, it's not going to have a good situation. So I really love the AirPlay integration. It sounds good. You know, it is a smaller speaker, so you're not going to get like large HomePod or large Sonos sound, but it sounds good, has decent bass, and for what it is, again, portable, rechargeable, I really like it. And the no microphone thing, is a big deal for some people. Like some people were like, I don't want another microphone, in whatever room. And so it's nice. And you also don't have to worry about it going off by accident, like some assistant talking to you because you said a word that sounded like whatever. It just sits there, and it's just a dumb speaker, and that's nice. So thumbs up. Sonos Room SLs are cool. Which kind of ties in a little bit to a question. We've had a few questions sitting here for a while. So David Wages on Twitter, he was asking, do we have any recommendations for a dumb sound machine that can be connected to a HomeKit smart plug? I think he's asking that because he wants to put it in like a kid's room where it plays some white noise or something and then turns off after a certain amount of time. I would say, something like a Sonos Roam could work if you automate some like a shortcut and it starts or stops or whatever. I think the Sonos app also has like a sleep function. But I would say HomePod Mini, like I know it's not a dumb sound machine, but you can do white noise, and you can do, like you can ask a HomePod to like play rain sounds, and it can do that, and then you can set it on a timer to turn off at a certain point. I don't know if you would want to do a HomeKit smart plug for that, because turning on a plug is not going to start any kind of music. You just turn the speaker on, and then you're going to have to do something else to play it. If you really want a smart plug,
you'd almost need like a cassette player or something with the play button held down, and then you're just starting and stopping power, basically. But I think the HomePod Mini, or OG HomePod, but a HomePod Mini would be great for that. Maybe a little bit more, but if you're buying a sound machine and a smart plug together, maybe David's already got a smart plug that he can utilize, but putting together a scene with a HomePod Mini, I think would be perfect, because you can have I think he said this was for a kid. I think he wanted to use it for, so you could set like a goodnight kids scene, and then it could turn off those lights in that room, and then it could start a white noise effect on the HomePod Mini that stops automatically after 30 minutes or whatever time you want it to be. But I think that would be a really nice option.
Yeah, and you could turn off the Hey Dingus command and even turn off the Siri tap on top if you don't want your kids to accidentally trigger it, or you don't want them to purposefully trigger it by saying, hey, Apple Assistant. So just turn all that off, and then it will essentially be a dumb speaker as far as you can't ask it anything, you can't ask Siri anything, but then you can still program a shortcut or even a HomeKit scene to do all that. Play white noise, turn off after a certain amount of time, and you don't have to worry about the kids triggering something accidentally. So I think that's probably the way to go, HomePod Mini. You can get a colorful one, too.
Yeah, heck, if you want to make it extra fancy, David, throw an NFC chip in there or something, like by the crib or the kiddo's bed, and you just walk in there, tap it with your phone, kill those lights, turn on that white noise, automatically shuts off after a period of time. You could even set it to a playlist so it could cycle through multiple white noise sounds, so like rain and, dust, whatever other white noise sounds there are. That are out there, but dust. That's my example of a white noise. Dust.
Like dust? What does dust sound like?
I don't like a.
Do you have super hearing? Can you hear dust falling? Is it like
maybe
dust?
Got like a lot of dust? Like
I can't handle the
sweeping dust. Yeah, it's like a.
You doing like stomp now? You doing like stomp percussion?
Sweeping dust. Yeah.
Yeah, I want the sound of a feather duster on a lamp. Whatever sound that is, just
perfect. Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
You're going to create a very niche white noise that's going to just like very super specific things.
Yeah, dog eating something. Very, very strange white noise.
Sour Patch.
Yeah, Sour Patch. That's right. I couldn't remember. That's what it was. Okay, also, this is not a question, but Jim Brunn on Twitter actually sent us a link to a website, flair.co, F-L-A-I-R.co. This is not a HomeKit product, but it is smart vents for your home. And if you have those kind of vents, like for central air and stuff, you can usually manually like slide the thing to change the angle of the vent. And these are cool. These are smart vents that can adjust the angle and open and close the vents automatically. Again, not HomeKit, but would be really cool if HomeKit got in this game. Smart vents, I'd be down for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the one I've seen before, but I have seen the smart vents. And I think the idea is really smart. So basically you can control which rooms are getting heated or cooled independently. And if your HVAC or heater doesn't have to heat your whole house, it can just focus on those rooms that you're in. So by closing all those other vents, it focuses its airflow into the rooms that you're in, and it takes a lot less, air or heat to cool or warm that room, which can save you on electrical costs. Like right now, I'm in the studio, wife's up in the office. Why do we need to, heat bedrooms or the basement, anything like that? We can shut off those vents, and those rooms would be much more uncomfortable should you walk into them. But assuming you can kind of program and schedule stuff smartly or based on the rooms that you're in, it can really help with your saving costs. And it doesn't need to be necessarily HomeKit. I wish there was maybe some HomeBridge way to tie these in if there's not a native HomeKit, just so you can control like opening and closing with your voice. I don't know if these have like motion sensors or anything else to detect which rooms you're in to know when to open or close. But I think the idea of these is brilliant. It's really cool. And I know in like our bedroom, sometimes I get extra hot or something, and I don't necessarily want to like turn off the thermostat because it's like correct for the rest of the house. Like I just want a little less heat like on my side of the bed or something, and I'll have to go and close the vent, and it's like underneath the bed is uncomfortable and annoying to get to. So if I could just tell Siri or through an app or something to control that vent, be great.
Yeah, that would be. Our Tom Kane on Twitter, he said he just got some Eve motion blind rollers from Select Blinds. We mentioned that they were for sale on Select Blinds just recently, a few episodes ago. He says they're pretty slick. He likes them. So very cool. He does have one complaint about HomeKit, not the Eve motion blinds. But he was saying he wishes that he could auto-lock his house when he leaves without a required confirmation on his phone. Now, I have yet to experience the whole like level lock and August situation. I'll be doing that in my new house. But Andrew, is this the case where you have to confirm that the door locks when you leave? There's no automated way to do that?
So there's, how HomeKit takes security super high. Like it's extremely important.
Yeah.
And a lot of lock manufacturers have resorted to their own ways of doing things. So this stuff is still possible, but with various catches to accomplish it.
Lots of asterisks.
So, yeah. So like for level lock, you can do a thing where it just automatically locks. So you can set a period of time, and then the lock will automatically lock itself. This is the easier way, because then you don't ever have to worry about when you're home, is the door locked or unlocked, and when you leave, it automatically locks, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to run that automation manually. Similarly, when coming home, there's like you arrive home, and if you want to control access to your house, you have to authenticate it to make sure it's just not someone else coming home with your phone and doing things. Some people still want the automatic unlock functionality. So August, as well as Level, have come up with their own ways of doing things. Basically, they watch your location as soon as you arrive home. They'll send the command for you without you having to run your shortcut with a confirmation. HomeKit still has these things. I'm hoping for more control over this, even if the ability to turn that feature on or off, acknowledging that it's weaker security but increased convenience. I'm okay with that trade-off. Some people are not. For people like Tom, for me, I want it to happen automatically. I want it to be able to lock when I leave and unlock when I come home without me having to do anything. There are ways to do it, but it's usually through the manufacturer's app and not natively through HomeKit.
Right. Okay, 2 more, and we can get through all the questions that we had backed up, and then you guys can leave more this week for next episode. But Alex Hall, I think you actually answered this on Twitter, but real quick, he was asking, he wants to see his Thread network in the Eve app. If you go to the Eve app on your iPhone and you have Thread devices, you can see what Thread devices are in your house. He sees his Nanoleaf bulbs and even his Wemo Stage, but doesn't see the HomePod Mini, which HomePod Mini does have Thread, and he asked, why don't you see it? And what did you tell him on Twitter?
I said, that's a good question, Alex. The thing here is you need an Eve bridge that is able to discover basically the HomePods on the network. So when you have just the endpoint devices, so the bulbs connect as routers, but I don't think it's an Eve router, the Stage Thread endpoint, so it just can't discover those HomePods on there. So if you have something that is an Eve Thread Bridge. So Eve Energy, the latest generation Eve Energy, the latest generation Eve WaterGuard, those are able to act as Eve or as Thread routers. Not border routers, which is the HomePod Mini. The HomePod Mini is a border router that connects your Thread network to your home network. A router is just the part that extends your Thread network, and that's able to discover those HomePods. So if you added either of those routers to your home network, boom, your HomePods, Apple TV would all show up right away.
Boom. All right, last question. This is from D-Man on Twitter. He was asking, and I don't know the answer to this, but he's looking for a HomeKit-compatible smart vacuum. Couldn't find any. He's asking, are there any that work with HomeKit? The answer is no, because this is not a category that Apple supports yet, smart vacuums and such. You can use HomeBridge to kind of hack your way to get your Roomba or iRobot stuff in there. And Siri shortcut support just came out for Roomba, right, Andrew? Is it Roomba and... Who else? Do you remember?
Yeah, so there's 3 that I would recommend here that all work great with Siri shortcuts, and because it's in Siri shortcuts, it will work with HomeKit, so you can tie it into your HomeKit scenes. So even though not explicitly HomeKit, it's basically as good as it gets, and it's what I use every time I go to clean the house. So the 3 options that I know of, there are models from ECOVACS, from Roborock, and through iRobot, the Roomba series. So Roombas were just updated. I have the Roborock S7 Max V Ultra. That's their new fancy super one, but there's like different versions of it. All work with Siri. Same thing with the ECOVACS. I'm testing like that Omnia X1, I think, which is similar to the Roborock. And the thing here with the Siri shortcuts, they work great. When I'm testing with the Roborock right now, I can tell it to clean like a certain room. I'm just like, Siri, clean the kitchen. Robot wakes up, goes to the kitchen, starts cleaning. I can say, clean the living room. Boom, does that. I can separate different areas. So if I wanted to clean like the dining room, living room, and kitchen, but I want to ignore the hallway and the bedrooms, I can have a zone for that, and I can just like clean the main rooms, and the robot will come out and do those things. So there's a lot of control that you have over with those. I can also have, I do have commands for to start cleaning, which is just full clean of the house, or I can say stop cleaning, and the robot just says, cool, and heads back to its house. So you have pretty much full Siri control for these things that way, and as a participant in shortcuts, they can be tied into any of your scenes. I don't know what else you would set in a HomeKit like cleaning scene. Like maybe you want like a cleaning playlist for the robot to play, or some mood light for the Roborock to run around. I don't know, but you can tie it to whatever else you want to do. Yeah, just some deep bass lines come out whenever the robot enters the room, just like an intro
some
mix.
Dubstep. Wop.
Yeah, some hype music. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want your Hunter Douglas shades to open to cast light on all that dust that you've been listening to from your white noise machine.
All the dust that was just kicked up.
So your Roborock can see the dust. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. Well, I'll put links to all those robot vacuums in the show notes. And, yeah. So there you go. We answered all listener questions. So listen, tweet at us. Send us your questions. We'd love to see what you got home project-wise going on. Any new HomeKit devices that you got. And, of course, subscribe to youtube.com/HomeKit Insider so you can see us do our antics right here in the flesh, in the video. You can see Andrew's dust white noise, whatever that is. I'm gonna look for that. I want to see. I hear it. Is that ASMR?
Yeah, that's dusting. That's dusting.
It's dusting. Very good. And thanks for all the 5-star ratings and reviews. Keep those coming as well. Signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Tuning?
See y'all.
I didn't know what I just said there. Tuning
Way
in.
to love the outro.
Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.